Hello, everyone. Welcome, GlossGenius community, to our community roundtable for the month of August. I am so excited to lead this evening's conversation. My name is Danny Berkowitz. I am the community manager at GlossGenius, and I have the immense pleasure of being your moderator this evening while we speak about setting boundaries with confidence. And I have so much joy and excitement to introduce our amazing panelists, which we'll get to in just a second. But I want to thank each and every one of you who are on the call live, or if you're watching this later, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm really excited for this conversation to uplift and inspire you, and at the end of the day, maybe encourage you to try setting some boundaries for yourself and for your business and the ways that you're communicating with your clients, which will only make you stronger. So I'm going to go ahead and just give a quick shout out to our GlossGenius community, who are the most amazing people out there. And I have just so much joy and pleasure working with each and every one of you. If you are a GlossGenius member and interested in joining our GlossGenius community, please reach out. My email is community@glossgenius.com. It'll be at the end as well, so don't worry. Sit back, relax, make sure you've got a beverage for you to enjoy, whether it's the afternoon or the evening for you. We're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so tonight's conversation is going to be about setting boundaries with your clients so that you can stay successful and confident in your business. And I happened to wake up today on Monday to see an incredible piece of wisdom that came through our community Slack account, which is one of our forums that we use to communicate with each other and share support and whatnot. And one of our ambassadors, Octavia, shared this quote that I think really embodies what we're all about. And at GlossGenius, we really find that this topic is near and dear to our hearts, and as well as what we hear from our amazing community members. Octavia says, boundaries need not be an electric fence, but a true stance that says, I won't be treated this way. The giver has no boundaries, but neither does the taker. And, it's a little jolting, but I like that. And I think it can be a great reminder that you're in control of your business and you have the opportunity to have your dream and accomplish all of the goals that you want to accomplish just by setting some simple boundaries around your business that will help you stay successful and confident. Without further ado, I'd love to introduce our panel for tonight's roundtable. We have a couple GlossGenius ambassadors and an educator with us this evening as well, one of our GG educators. I'd love for each of you to introduce yourselves, unmute, say hi, and share where you're calling in from, any pronouns that you prefer using, and what your business or salon is. We'd love to learn. Let's start with Gina.
Hey guys, I'm Gina. I live in Phoenix. Right now I'm in California, but I am a multicultural stylist and my business is called G Hair Lounge. I started it in 2015. It's still going strong, although I've been doing hair longer. So that's a little bit about myself.
Thank you, Gina. Lexi?
Hey guys, I'm Lexi Choate-Bewley, and you may know me as Skin by Lexi on Instagram. I've been an esthetician for 12, 13 years now, and I've owned my own business. It'll be 2 years in November. I opened during the pandemic, November of 2020, and I'm in a soulless salon suites, and I'm so glad that I found GlossGenius.
And we are so glad that you found GlossGenius too. And next we've got Roxy.
Hey, I'm Roxy. My business name is Rockstar Hair. I am in Mesa, Arizona. I've been doing hair about 15 years, I think. Been on my own about 7, 8 years. And yeah, I'm in my studio right now. So all pink.
Fabulous. And that studio wall is like what I want the background of my life to be. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
And last but not least, I'd love to reintroduce our community to someone you may recognize, one of our GlossGenius educators, Katie Oakes.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. I am located in Savannah, Georgia. My studio name is Hair by Katie Oakes, and I've been with Sola, I think going on like 6 years. And I've been with GlossGenius since the beginning, so things have been good.
Thank you so much. Okay, what a stacked roundtable we have. This panel is going to be amazing. I hope to stay as a fly on the wall. I'll be asking our panel a couple questions that came in from our community members who wanted to know more about tips and tricks and really easy ways to set up boundaries, client boundaries for your business. So the first question that I'd love to ask is, well, and I also want to say that you may answer this question. Feel free to popcorn in and we'll guide the conversation accordingly. Sounds good? Great. So I'd love to know, how have your salon policies around cancellation evolved from when you were just starting out with your business to now? Anyone want to go first? It's always scary. Yeah, Lexi, please.
Yeah. Okay, so I just want to preface this by I haven't always been the like cold-hearted policy holder. I'm just saying that like this has definitely evolved over the years of 12 years. So I think when I first started out, even just being an employee, I wouldn't push to charge cancellations because one, it probably wasn't my pocket, that was being affected, right? I was still an hourly employee. But two, I felt like, okay, well, things happen and they can still come in. And then when I started my own business, I would still kind of do that. And I'd be like, okay, I'll charge you the 50% fee, but even though you no-showed, I'll let you book again. And what I learned is that if someone shows you their traits or their patterns, it's no shade on them. It's just, it doesn't work with my business style. And so when someone shows you that, maybe trust it. And so if someone no-shows now, they can't rebook. I will allow people to text me that day to see if there's any openings, but since pre-booking in advance seems like it doesn't work for them, it doesn't work for me either, because I would rather make 100% than 50%.
I mean, quote of the night already, one, done. Oh, love that. 100% over 50%. I mean, that goes down to emotional and mental health too, right?
Yeah.
Really making sure that you're not pouring from an empty cup. I love that, Lexi.
Yeah.
Would anyone else like to answer this first question around cancellation policies and how they
I can
evolve?
pop in.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Gina.
Hey guys, so I'm just gonna be completely transparent, 100% honest. My business has evolved when it comes to salon policies 360 degrees. Now let me scale back and explain what I mean by that. At one point, I never had salon policies. I had to completely shift my mindset in terms of trying to figure it out, going through the hoops and hurdles, trying to discover ways in which I need to like run a profitable business, a successful business. And I stumbled upon salon policies. So I went from not enforcing anything to being a people pleaser to being a yes ma'am to now completely evolve into I have policies. I respect my business. Whoever comes on board, I need those clients to respect my business. The cancellation policies with GlossGenius has been phenomenal because now my clients, I don't get any no-shows, rarely. If it's a new client, because of the policies that I implemented, I don't get any last minute cancellations or anything of the nature. GlossGenius has helped a lot in that by helping me to enforce those policies. So complete 360 degree like adjustment, and I'm so forever thankful for it. Hopefully that kind of helps.
I mean, what a beautiful transition from like you basically figured out what you were worth and what your worth was, and realized that you were so much better than that. So I love that journey for you, and I think it's really relatable to feel stuck in that people pleasing, almost like an imposter syndrome. You know, I could never fear. I think that's really relatable. So thank you for sharing that, Gina. And I'm so happy that the 360, complete orbit has brought you a lot of success.
I'm not going back. I just can't.
What did you tell me earlier when we were on the phone? You mentioned something about how like you wouldn't have the revenue that you have today if you hadn't put down those boundaries for yourself.
Yes, just to emphasize on that, the conversation that I was having with Danny was more of how excited I was about this conversation because of some of the things, client boundaries, setting those boundaries for myself in my business, learning how to not just be a hairdresser behind the chair, knowing my worth, knowing that, honey, I wear several hats. I'm the CEO. I do all the marketing. I do all of the behind the scenes thing. I do the inventory. I do the hair. I'm the talent. I'm the this. I'm the that. So once I shifted and shifted my mindset on setting client boundaries, so that clients would respect me and my business, because I was just getting run over. It has 1000% contributed to the financial success that I have in my business. Since COVID, that's really when, believe it or not, COVID was when did we find out about it? About maybe 2 years ago, if that, close to 3 years. Honestly, that's when I really sat down during our little COVID recess, and sat down and reevaluated my business. I went through a rebranding during COVID, and I have seen financial gains and financial success since the beginning of COVID to now. Now I'm completely booked out 3 weeks in advance, have clients on 2 separate waiting lists. The reason why it's 2 now is because now my lovely Gloss Genius has created the wait list option for my clients. So now I have to shift the other one to Gloss Genius, but it's been a phenomenal transition. For those of you that are like wondering if this is something that you should do, take this as a sign. Shift your mindset, be grounded, stay confident in what it is that you do, know your worth, and just move forward. Any client that comes in and doesn't believe in you and doesn't believe in the quality of services that you provide, just look at it as, okay, that client is not for me. That client is not meant to fit in the mold of how I do business, because anybody that sits in my chair is going to respect me enough, not only respect me, but they're going to be excited for the growth, and that they're along for the ride, and that they get to see all of the changes in my business. So yes, client boundaries is key in helping in your business and in your financial statuses as well. So sorry, I just got really excited. Hopefully I didn't throw anybody off.
Thank you, Gina. No, that's exactly why you're here. Would anyone else like to chat about cancellations, or should I move on to the next question? Let's go on to the next one. So of all the policies that each of you have put towards your business, what would you say has been the most impactful for maintaining healthy boundaries with clients?
I can touch on this. Oh, you can go first.
You can go first. I'll go after you.
I would say with client boundaries and policies, it might sound like, but those like little policies have, like I've got like a time policy. Like I don't want clients to show up 15 minutes early to their appointment, but I also don't want them showing up 15 minutes late. And that just helps me protect my peace a little bit and make sure that mentally, like, and sanitary wise, that I'm prepared for my next client to be here. Like sometimes, you know how it is. Sometimes we need that 15 minutes to clean up, shove like a snack in our mouth, little things like that. And really like talking to my clients about some of those policies and why I have them in place, it's made them be more mindful. I've had clients tell me, they're like, I got here a while ago, but I just hung out in my car till 5 minutes before, just in case you were eating lunch. And I really appreciate that. But then also for the 15 minutes late, at that point, I do need to reschedule their service. And again, I communicate that so well with my clients, and I post it everywhere. I talk about it. So if that does ever happen, like they already kind of know that it's coming. Not saying that there's not wiggle room in that. If I'm able to still take them and do a partial instead of a full, or if I don't have anybody after them, maybe I will work with them if they're not far away. But also just having that cancellation policy in place. I've had clients that reach out to me like a month in advance about canceling or rescheduling, and they're like, please don't charge me the 50%. And I'm like, I'm not going to. You've given me a plenty of a heads up to reschedule you. And I just really appreciate the respect.
It's cool because it's cool that they really want to give you that respect so that they receive it back. And it's almost like an accountability that both parties deserve that time and deserve that notice for success in the relationship as well. Because I know that you all work so hard on building those relationships with your clients. Thank you, Katie, for sharing that. Roxy.
Hey. So I'm very transparent with all my clients. Most of my clientele have been with me since most of my career. Even some newer ones have been with me at least 6-7 years. So, that relationship we have, we've been through so much together. And I really started, when I started doing my deposits, start depositing for any new client to this day. And I feel like that's really when there was a shift and they started respecting me. And before Gloss Genius, I was with Bagaro, which I really didn't like, but that helped me create that boundary as well, and them help, make appointments and just gotta look at my notes really quick.
No, that makes sense. Have you started using the deposits feature on Gloss yet?
I haven't yet because I haven't had any new clients in the last few weeks, but I am excited to try it, which it actually kind of got me thinking. I'm always changing everything. My cancellation policy, I change it all the time because, like someone said earlier, I know people go through things. I always try to give people leeway, and I try to put myself in their shoes, which I probably wouldn't no-show people, but things happen, and I wouldn't want to be charged for a service I didn't get. So I'm actually going to start doing no more cancellation fees. It's going to be next time you book an appointment, you have to pay a deposit. So I think I'm going to start implementing deposits, even if it's a small $25, $30 deposit. I think I'm going to start doing that with every single client just to hold everyone accountable for their appointments.
And imagine, the organization that you'll have too, knowing what you've put in as well,
Yep.
which protects you, but keeps your client accountable as well. So excited. When you do, let us know. We want to celebrate that. And that's a self-care win, I think. And that's amazing that you have this incredible lineup of clientele that's been with you since the beginning. And maybe, as you set boundaries or you find more ways to grow your community, your network that you're growing, perhaps that will be something that you use moving forward. But we also have stuff like gap time. And I know Katie talked about that, having time between appointments as well. So it can really be anything. So thank you, Roxy.
Yeah.
Cool. What about anyone else? Does anyone else want to answer this question around a policy that has made a huge impact in your business? Oh, Gina, I think you're on mute. Let's unmute you.
Oh, can you guys hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, I'll try not to be so long-winded, but what I have implemented in terms of a late policy, if my guests are more than 20 minutes late, then because of the fact that I'm wanting to respect my next guest time, then we have to reschedule. I do have that cushion where if you're within the 15-minute window, then come on in and I'll still service you. But if it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, then I will have to reschedule. And just doing that, I've noticed a complete shift in my business because clients have brought it up to me, which is why I have implemented it. One client in particular said, your other guests shouldn't have to suffer because your previous guest ran late. And that was like a mind-blowing like statement that was made, like, you're right. So I need to not just respect that particular client, I need to respect everyone's time. So rescheduling if they're after that buffer of time has made a huge difference.
Such a great reminder too, that having leeway and empathy and understanding is the goal. And it's about creating that trust and that very transparent relationship with your client to let them know this is what I require so that I can not only protect myself, but take care of you and make you a priority as my client, as well as the ones before and after you. So just amazing, amazing reminder. Thank you, Gina. Lexi, I saw you raise your hand.
Yes, I just wanted to add on to that because I thought that was great. And I wanted to add like the esthetician side to that. So I know with hair, like things take as long as they take, right? Because things have to process all that. But with skincare, if someone is booked for an hour facial and they are 10, 15 minutes late, I will just turn their facial into a 45-minute or a 50-minute facial, and they're still going to pay for the hour facial because that's the time they reserved. So also, like you said, if you have to reschedule because you just can't do it, then you can't do it, right? And sometimes with waxing, it's that way. Like it's as long as it takes, you know? But with facials, just a little bit of perspective to be like, okay, yeah, I can cut you down, do a 50-minute facial, but you're still going to be paying for what you booked for because you reserved that time on my books.
And Lexi, can you give a couple examples for maybe we have a more hair people on the call than estheticians out there. And if you are an esthetician, put it in the chat. We'd love to hear from you as well. Give love for that. Can you give us some examples of ways that you've implemented policies? Because I know that there's like waivers involved and there's like sort of a process that may be a little bit more convoluted than most professionals in this industry. Do you have some examples of ways that you do that in your salon today?
Yeah, I'm such a stickler. I will not start a service unless that online consultation form is filled out. The reason why is because one, you're protecting yourself, that things are written down. When they're like, oh, I thought I told you I was allergic to ABC, and you're like, it's not on your form, you know, but they have to fill it out. So if someone comes in, most of my clients are great. They send that jot form in, which now you can connect on the bottom of the GlossGenius stuff. Beautiful. Most of them fill it out before, but I have people come in, they're like, yeah, I couldn't get it to work, or I tried, or whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. Here's the iPad. You can go ahead and sit outside the room. I'll finish getting stuff set up, and then go ahead and fill that out for me, because I need them to agree to those policies. I need them to agree that if they don't show up or they cancel without notice, blah, 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 that they're going to get charged, and that that whatever we do, that I don't have to test products on them. In skincare, things do happen, just like hair does, right? People have weird reactions that you wouldn't expect, but you have to protect yourself. And so if they're like, do I have to fill that out? I just say like, yep, it's part of my insurance clause. Done.
The wisdom here is so rich. I love this conversation so much. And the next one that I want to ask is a little bit of a way for you to think back on your own journey from when you were first starting out, either as an independent pro or you were working on a team or in any salon before you even, opened your own doors. What was the best advice that you were ever given around protecting your peace?
I'll go.
Let it rip.
Not all money is good money. And I I really feel that one because I could take two $325 facial clients and make $325 an hour. But if this client gives me agita, which means like if it gives me nervousness before they come in because I know it's always something, I'd rather separate myself from that client and save that spot for another person where I'll still make the $325, but I won't feel like, ugh, this person's on my books.
Self-care. We love to see it. Anyone else? I actually would love to hear this from each of you because you're all from different walks of life. So I know that we're in for some good treasures here. Katie, would you like to go next? Oh, you're on mute. Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I would, similar, to that, I would say that the second that a stressful or bad client leaves your chair, you're now opening that up for a good person to be allowed onto your books. And so it is true, like not all money is good money. My prices are the same. It doesn't matter who's sitting in my chair. It doesn't matter how much money they make, what status they think they have. All my clients are the same, if they're an attorney or if they're a server at a restaurant, so they're all paying the same price, and I value their time, that they value my time. And if we can't meet on our boundaries and our respect, then that's okay. I'm not the stylist for them, and I will gain a client who does have that respect and that mutual rapport.
Amazing outlook, Katie. And I imagine that across anyone's, books and chair, that you're gonna run into someone who's giving you some difficulty. And that could totally not be on you. It could be chemistry, it could be so many factors. Keeping that empathy, having clear understanding of who you are and what your boundaries are, knowing your purpose and your goals, staying aligned with that will give you that confidence and strength that you need. I also wanted to bring up that when you think of, your booking site, knowing that that is also like the first moat that you get into your, before anyone, gets to access you, and keeping that as the North Star for all of your potential or current clients, depending on if they want to make a deposit, if they want to make an appointment 3 months in advance, they can't text you about it. They calling you is no longer an option. Having your booking site is an amazing resource for you to keep things organized and keep it almost like protecting your self-worth and who you are. I'd love to know if anyone has any, advice around how that has worked for them in the past, whether it's about the booking site or not. Roxy, did you get to share your piece of advice that you've learned across the years?
I would say trust your gut. Trust those red flags that pop up. I've been trying to practice that more recently. I'm kind of a control freak, so I do have my booking site available for anyone, and I love those clients, the new ones and my regulars that go on there and book their appointments. But I get a little anxious when it's a new client and I know nothing about them. So sometimes I do reach out just to kind of follow up and see what they're interested in doing. Or I do say a lot in my captions, like DM for a consultation or to book an appointment. So that's kind of where I get my feel out for people. And if I start getting like that anxious feeling, why aren't you understanding what I'm saying type of thing, I won't take them on as a client. I've had, people just kind of be rude to me too because I'm asking questions. I'm one of those people that I want to make sure we are on the same page before we start your hair. I'm going to ask you a billion questions because how often do we have mistakes because of the terminology? So I want to make sure that I'm understanding that what it is that you want and what we're doing. So sometimes
No. Was that for me or for all of you guys too? Is she paused? I think so.
She's
Okay.
paused because I thought I paused for a second.
My heart dropped. I was like, no, keep going. We'll keep it rolling. When Roxy gets back, hopefully her internet unkinks for us. But let's go ahead and move on to the next question. And when she gets back, we'll give her the mic. So
Danny, is it possible just to add on to that before we move to the next question? Pretty please.
Please, here you go.
Some advice that I can extend. And this is from what I've collected just working out in the field as an educator, as well as seeing so many new guests sit in my chair. What I can say is, whether you've been in the business for 20 years or whether you're just getting started and you kind of need someone to hold you by the hands to help and guide you along the way, have some integrity about yourself in this business. It is going to take you far. The definition of integrity is doing the right thing when no one's looking. Don't just take services or just collect money from people because you know you can. If you know what your clients' goals are and you know that what they're asking for cannot be obtained, be transparent. Provide realistic expectations. But the key and the foundation is have some integrity, because I'm learning that a lot of stylists do not have it. So if you want to continue to elevate and go far in this industry, your integrity is going to take you far, and it's going to have you you're gonna get so many referrals just because you're honest and transparent, and opposed to just taking money because you know you can. That's not right. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Okay, I'm done on that one.
Gina, you could talk as long as you want. Nobody's rushing you. We love this wisdom. And I think like even those little sayings or affirmations that you say to yourself, that's what keeps you going. And the point of having our group conversation tonight and the chance for other people to hear it is it just takes that one person to believe in you and to give you that inspiration that you got this and you're worth it. You're worth it because you go the extra mile for your clients. You're worth it because you make it happen and have created this business from ground up. So I totally full-heartedly believe in that, and karma's real. And there's always an opportunity for you to learn and stay humble. So I think that's a really great foundation to set up. Thank you, Gina. And I've tried to put in your advice like sayings in the chat. And if I missed anything, please feel free to do that as well.
Can I add on to Gina?
Absolutely.
We're just going to get an ongoing. But I love what she said about like just having integrity and that you will get clients and referrals just being who you are. So I had a page when I was an employee. I had an Instagram. And I think when I decided to not go back to the spa, I think I had like 4,800 followers, which was huge for like an esthetician in, a small city. And so I was fine with that. And I was like, cool, we're small town famous, whatever. And then, but I always posted with the branding that they wanted me to. So like, I was not as transparent with these thoughts and these things and like my funny reel videos and the relatable stuff. Right. I was definitely like on par with their brand. I was Lexi at the spa, right? And so when I was able to be like actual Lexi, whether that's good or bad or dangerous, right? Being able to post whatever I want, that's when I probably had 50 clients that I knew would follow me at the spa. And now I think I checked earlier, I think it's 640 clients in my GlossGenius database. And that's just over a year and a half. And my following went to, I think we're at 11,000 now. So it's like, once you are who you are, and it's nice because it's really like weeded out the clients who I wouldn't mesh with, right? It kind of gives them like a preview of me, like being who I am on Instagram, so that then they know like, oh, this is what I want, or like, not for me. And that's totally cool, right? I'm not the like holistic relaxation, like esthetician. I'm not. I'm results driven, and you're gonna look damn good when you leave, but that's not for everyone, you know? And so so anyway, I just wanted to piggyback, like, that is what I've totally learned. When you are yourself, that's when your business skyrockets. So anyway, just be yourself.
I need a bumper sticker, a sweatshirt, a tote bag with that saying on it, step. Those on the Gloss Genius team who are listening, we're on it. Thank you, Lexi, so much. Roxy, you left us and you're back.
I know, sorry, my laptop died.
Hashtag technology, am I right?
Yeah.
Welcome to 2022. We were just finishing up with that question, and we knew you'd come back. I knew it in my heart, about a piece of advice that you've received. Can you just recap what you had mentioned before, just in case we missed something?
Trust your gut, really. Just trust your gut. And if someone's giving you those red flags, if they're like clearly before they're even in your chair, not understanding your boundaries, understanding your policies, pretending like they don't understand like your policy, then don't take them. Like I think Lexi said, not all money is good money. And you know, like, and sometimes I think people take advantage of that, because especially right now in the world, we, you know, the economy and the cost of everything, you know, not everyone's desperate to make a quick buck. So I don't know. That was pretty much it. Trust your gut.
Amen. We got it down. Thank you. Thank you so much, Roxy. That's such a great reminder of listening to your instincts and trusting your gut. Katie, I want to give you a chance as well. Did you want to share the best piece of advice you've received around protecting your peace?
I definitely think, you know, we've said it before, like being genuine, being your authentic self, like your vibe's gonna attract your tribe kind of like thing. Like the more genuine you are about, you know, your services, your pricing, your policies, your boundaries, like the more your clients are gonna respect that. But also just like being your true, like authentic self, like not just like in your business policies, but in your brand, as we touched on, like you're gonna attract people that like vibe with you. And you know, occasionally you are going to get those people that things just aren't meshing well. And, you know, you're going to have moments that will like kind of like knock your confidence back. I feel like when that kind of happens, and it's like scary, like, do they not like me? Are they going to tell people that they don't like me? And it's like, maybe, yeah, but you're going to have so many more people that do like you, and they're going to refer people to you because of who you are. So stay true to yourself.
Excellent reminder, and something to always keep in your pocket. I always love the quote, when you feel outclassed, show them your passion. Speak from the heart and let that empathy, you know, guide you. That's beautiful, Katie. I love that. Let me write that down actually, because that was just so great. And while I'm typing, I wanted to remind some of our panelists, if you wanted to share your social media handles so that those who are on the call can continue to be inspired by you and stay in touch, we would love for you to share that as well, so that you get the spotlight too. Stay true to yourself. Boom. Okay. Let's move on to the next question, which I think is a little bit more tactical. Now that we know your journey, how far you've come, what it's been like to get to where you are today, I want to ask you a more specific question. What do you say, or how can you make sure that you're honoring and upholding your boundaries when things get tough? When you have a pushier client, if you have someone who refuses to book on your website, or who's not interested, you know, in respecting your time and your worth, how do you deal with that? Tina?
You guys are going to be like, Gina, this girl can talk. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, perfect. What has worked for me, as for me and my business, if I'm dealing with an unruly client, or if I'm dealing with a client who's being pushy, going back to what we've been circling back, talking about client boundaries and protecting our peace, I just don't take those clients. If I've made sure prior to any new guest sitting in my chair, I'm always doing a consultation. If not an in-person consultation, I capture information prior to them coming into my salon. On my website, I have a pre-consultation form embedded, like a form, like you're going to a doctor's office, like there's information that I'm seeking. That's how serious I am about my business. But if I feel like it doesn't, like the connection doesn't feel right based on what you're telling me, or based on what your demands are, then I will just simply say during the consultation, based on everything that we've talked about, your goals, phenomenal goals, but based on the realistic expectations that you have, I'm going to have to refer you to another stylist because I don't feel like we're a great fit. What you start with is what you're going to have to finish with. If you take on an unruly client and you keep servicing them, guess what? At the end of the day, you're going to be resentful toward your industry and toward your own business. You're going to be so stressed out and frustrated, you're going to want to give up. Ain't nobody got time for that. So in order to protect your peace, refer them to someone else, and just let them know kindly and professionally that unfortunately we are not a good fit. So here's someone else who I think will be best suitable to tailor to your needs. And that's murder she wrote. That's the end of the story. That's it. That's all. Protect your peace, and it starts at the consultation. Before you move forward, you kind of know, you can feel like, based on energy, who you would have a good vibe with, if this is going to go well or if it's not. Protect your peace and just be okay with saying no. It has taken me years to get to that point. I am there and I'm loving it. It's like a weight of bricks have been dropped off of my shoulders just by simply learning how to appreciate the word no and saying no, but still being gentle and professional. So yes, protect your peace. It'll change your life.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Gina. Katie.
I would say, it's really great whenever you can kind of screen those difficult clients like beforehand, whether it's you're getting this really long email, really long Instagram message, and you immediately get anxiety reading it and you've never met this person before. I agree, like don't take them as a client. But what do you do when that person is already a client and they kind of started out great and then it started to get a little toxic, they're pushing your boundaries? It's almost a little more difficult to feel like to get them off of your book than it is just not taking somebody. And I've unfortunately had that happen. I'm sure so many people have. If it's something like a client continuously complaining about something, wanting like a redo, I try to, give people the benefit of the doubt. But if you start to see it becoming a pattern, I usually give it about 3 appointments. So if, 3 appointments, someone's complained about something, been continuously late, no showing, things like that, I will ban them from online booking in the future. I will not pre-book them. And if it comes time for that breakup text, we will have it. I just tell them, I've really enjoyed, the time to get to know you in my chair. But unfortunately, I don't think moving forward, I'm the best fit for you. I went ahead and canceled your, next upcoming appointments. And if you feel like you do want to refer them to somebody, then absolutely do. I'm in SOLA, so I love to refer people to someone I think would be better suited. But sometimes I just leave it at that. They found me, they will find somebody else the same way. So.
Sage advice. And thank you for being so specific with how you would say that as well. Katie, did that ever feel weird or awkward to you before?
Oh, yes. I mean, you really feel like you're going through a breakup, especially if they've been a client of yours for a year or more. It's really hard and it is nerve-wracking. Again, you're like, they're going to hate me like I'm afraid to get a bad review kind of thing like that. But I think at the end of the day, like your peace is more important than the anxiety that they're bringing in. And that weight, the weight of bricks being lifted off your shoulder, like you finally are not going to feel dread whenever you see this person's name on your book. And that is a way better feeling than that feeling that comes after the breakup text message. So.
Woo! You nailed it. And honestly, that weight is like feels physical. So
Yes.
I hope everyone gets a chance to practice that. And, you know, practice makes perfect. So if it feels a little weird coming out of your mouth, just keep practicing and remember that this is for you. It's protecting your business, protecting your peace and your sanity as well. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. And thanks for letting me ask you that. That wasn't a question I wanted you to expect.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, Lexi, I want to know what you say, because
Yeah.
I think you represent a more extroverted professional, and perhaps someone who is not quite there yet in terms of feeling super confident to have this conversation, one like in person, or wording it in a text is so important. How do you handle that? And what are some like tactical ways that someone could take away?
Yeah, I'm like, get the hell out. No, I'm just kidding. No, I just sorry. Not at all. I still get nervous when you're having that conversation, because just like Katie said, like, are they gonna tell people, you know, like, and there will be. I have one bad Yelp review that's like, she's a great esthetician, but she sucks as a person. And I'm like, no, okay, cool, you know, and that's totally fine. I had to break up with her. People don't like being broken up with. But what I try to do is, if it's someone who is not happy with the result of a service, I just kind of will say at the end of that, instead of, oh, it says click for sound. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. I don't know why it did that. Still can hear me? Yeah. Okay. I will just say at the end of the service, because usually, you know, it pops up like to pre-book. So I'll check them out, and then I'll just say, you know, I know that there's been some miscommunication, or that I haven't been offering you the results that you really have been looking for, and after a few times now, I feel like I still am not giving you what you're looking for. So I think that maybe you should go to, and I'll recommend them to another esthetician, so that you can get what you're looking for, because I don't want you to also be paying this money for a service and leaving unhappy every time. That's not good for you. It doesn't make me feel good that I can't provide you with what you're looking for too. So that is what I say, like, all jokes aside. And yeah, that is what I say.
It's okay to have an internal like sense of humor too, because maybe that'll help you feel confident and stay confident. I definitely know that we relate to each other in that way as well. Sometimes that's just the only way to deal with it. But thank you for also providing those really easy to remember reminders of staying honest and remembering that it's not personal. It's just your business at the end of the day. And you've got to protect it and protect your worth. We have the chat is blowing up, and I just want to thank everyone who is sharing these affirmations and just some real discoveries of, wow, I wish I would have known this, or it's so amazing to listen in on everyone's perspective, especially as a new business owner. San, welcome. Congratulations on opening your business. You're here at the perfect time, and I definitely hope that you get to walk away tonight with some great pieces of wisdom. Okay, let's go ahead. I want to pivot a little bit to what's we already talked about kind of like how to communicate these policies and the boundaries. Can someone share when it's worked out well? So we talked a little bit about a pushier client and someone who was giving you some trouble. Does anyone have an example of someone on your client list that really respects your boundaries, and sharing some kind of, you know, success story of making these boundaries makes a difference?
Since I said a lot of things about other situations, I'd like to jump in on this one. 98% of my clientele are amazing clients who totally respect me, respect my craft. They have been with me, some of them since I was 18, working at the European Wax Center, you know, and so we've seen each other get married, have babies, all that kind of stuff, you know, 13 years later. So most of them are clients who are like, hey man, wherever you go, I'm gonna go. It's all good. Whatever your new policies are, let's do it. With COVID, when I was like, okay, everybody has to wear a mask, I'm gonna damn near Lysol you down at the door. Like, what are we doing? They're like, okay, if that's what we have to do, let me know and I'll bring whatever. So it was really cool during that time to see like who kind of rocks with you, you know, like I was going from a huge spa to this beautiful environment to a little studio, and I was nervous that it wasn't going to be good enough and that I wouldn't be able to provide that experience anymore. And so yeah, I mean, most of my clients are the ones who are like, wherever you go, whatever you say, I've got you. And I love that. And that's why I don't feel like I work. I feel like I go and I tell jokes about skin and we talk about the Backstreet Boys and I go home. And so that I really do have the best clients. I'm sure everybody else, you know, can agree with. They do too.
Well, I think we can all agree and say that we want to be your ideal client. And Backstreet Boys, you had me.
Yeah.
Let's go. Katie, I'd love to know, in terms of some success stories of your clients. I know that you are also in this amazing environment of being in Sola Suite. So you have a bunch of connections with other professionals too. What are some success stories that you've heard either from yourself or from other pros about how settling these boundaries helps your business thrive?
Well, I spoke on it a little bit earlier, just, being very verbal about my boundaries and, having that client text me from the parking lot being like, hey, I'm here early, but I'm going to wait until you're ready. Just let me know when you come in, not feeling rushed, or those clients that cancel so far in advance or reschedule so far in advance. They respect my time that much. I really appreciate. Earlier this year, I did go out of town. I went to Costa Rica, out of the country for the first time on a vacation with my sister. And I was really scared to take that much time off. I had never taken that much time off during my business before. And I also decided at that point to redo my menu on GlossGenius. I went from having, like tons of bundled services to now offering 4, the mini, the half, the full, and the transformation, which really simplified my online booking. And I did talk to all of my clients about it, before I went out of town, because I didn't pre-book anybody. I was like, I want you guys to start with a clean slate, because if I pre-book you now, then you're going to be coming in confused. Are we doing what we did last time? It's like, no, this is completely new menu, and I want us all to get on the same page. And I want to push my clients to start booking their appointments online versus me pre-booking it all the time for them, because sometimes I don't respect my own boundaries and start fitting them in when I can versus fitting them in where there's space for what they want. So coming back from that trip, I actually launched, remade my website live again at the Costa Rica airport. And I'm surprised I didn't shut GlossGenius down, because they went bananas. They were waiting for that email. And that just made me so excited, that people really were reading everything that I sent out, or waiting for me to come back. They wanted to come back. And then whenever I did get back and finally saw them in my chair, the fact that they're so kind enough to be like, so how did the new transition go? Did it go well? They actually are invested as well in the process and want me to succeed. So I always really appreciate your ride or die clients. They're always going to come back and be there for you.
I think that's a great transition into what I wanted to ask next, which is, how does setting boundaries allow you to enjoy your life, which is outside of the salon, beyond the chair? It's not, you're not just a robot that is taking appointments at a receipt. It is taking so much of your life. And I know some of you are parents and, have families and other responsibilities. How has that been in terms of being able to go on vacation, feeling confident that not everything's going to be on fire when you get back? What does that feel like for anyone else?
I think for me, GlossGenius has been great. It helped me really set those boundaries, and everyone just feels okay that they can go on there anytime and book their appointments. And I love it because even my loyal clients will text me, I don't want to bug you on your weekend, so I just booked an appointment, but I'm not sure if I did it right, but don't answer me. So I feel like for me, I have that relationship with my clients, and over time, like Lexi said earlier, we all go through our lives together. Like, I've seen my clients get married, have kids, divorces, everything. And likewise, they've seen me go through breakups, my marriage, and everything. So, and we all respect each other, and they know that my weekends are my time with my husband. And even if they send me a text or a message, they know I'm going to reply on Monday, and they're okay with that. So GlossGenius has really helped me set my boundaries, and in so many other ways. I always talk about how the reports are my favorite thing of GlossGenius. Now my wait list, I love that too. So
we love to hear that. And I feel like that goes for some unwritten boundaries as well, as like just a mutual respect. And it goes back to what we were saying earlier, that this is not only benefiting me, but it's also going to, in the end, benefit you too. And also, you want to have that good energy when they walk in, feeling like this is my time. And we've both committed to this together. I think that's a really cool way to look at it. Okay, rapid fire question that I did not give you prep for, but I hope that you jive with this. Instead of the word boundary, what is one word that represents making boundaries in your life, or in your, I guess, client boundaries for your business? How does that, what does that represent in your life? Let's start with Gina on the bottom.
The first word that comes to my mind is respect.
All right. Popcorn in. Next.
I think mine, vibes. Are we vibing?
So important.
Mine would be security.
Freedom, vibes, security. Katie, take us home.
Peace of mind. Just feeling relaxed.
So important. Thank you all for sharing those words. Thank you for sharing this wisdom. We have a couple questions in the chat that I just want to cover before we wrap up the call. I've got a couple slides as well for anyone who's still on here to get some info, but I think that there was some questions in here around, they've already been answered. I see Lexi. Thank you so much for answering those as well. In terms of, great. And anyone who has answered a question or asked a question on the chat, we will follow up with you afterward if it's not done live. So, okay. Thank you to our incredible panel. I am so happy that we had a chance to chat here tonight and share pieces of wisdom that I know everyone is going to be able to take home and to maybe, start implementing tomorrow. It's as easy as remembering your self-worth, and, remember, you're in control of your business. You can set the tone however you like. And boundaries are just another word for respect, peace of mind, vibes. Oh, and what'd you say, Lexi?
Security.
Security. Oh, dang. Those words, fill in the blank here with whatever you feel. I'm going to go ahead and finish off our quick presentation, and then we can let everyone have a lovely rest of their evening. Because you've attended this presentation, or this roundtable tonight, I shouldn't even say presentation because it was so much more than that. every attendee is going to receive a free guide on how to deal with difficult clients. This is a workbook guide that GlossGenius created for beauty professionals by beauty professionals. So you know that it's going to be trusted and equipped with ways that you can respond, be proactive, and the tools that you can use that will handle situations for you, just like our panelists mentioned tonight. This is a really quick and easy way to keep yourself grounded, even if you read it once a month, once a year, once a decade. But when you start your business and then checking in with yourself, this is a really great resource, and we wanted to share it with everyone who's here tonight. And another quick plug that I wanted to make is that GlossGenius is taking over TikTok and Instagram, and we want to invite all of our community members. And even if you haven't joined GlossGenius yet, this is a great way to get to know who our community is, and also ways that you can learn how to be setting up boundaries like a boss. Our incredible social media manager, Amanda, is pictured here. She has been rocking it on our Reels and TikToks lately. Give her some love, give her the support. It's not easy to create content and put your face all over the internet. We are so proud to have this channel of TikTok to not only create content ourselves as GlossGenius, but to also uplift and shine the spotlight on our community members as well, who are creating really easy and accessible ways to learn from each other. And if you go ahead and pull your phone up to this QR code, it'll open to all of our social media channels, including YouTube, which all of these roundtables live after the fact so that you can catch up even if you don't attend live, as well as our Instagram and TikTok links. So go ahead, give us a follow, and I'm so excited to meet some of you in the future. Thank you to everyone who joined this evening's call. We are going to the moon here at GlossGenius and beyond. We're trying to share all of the wisdom and tools that you need as a professional, and we're just getting started. So thank you so much for being here tonight and sharing your support along the way, and for being incredible, badass professionals who are absolutely slaying the game and really making stride. If you have any questions for our support team, I saw that there were a couple questions in the chat tonight about specific feature issues or questions or settings that you wanted to make happen. Feel free to reach out to our incredible support team, who are real life human beings that care so much about our members. So please reach out to them if you have any questions, and feel free to, treat it like you're talking to a friend, because that's how they're going to treat you as well. And if you are interested in joining the GlossGenius community and you are using GlossGenius today and want to get in on more VIP events and ways that you can have some opportunities to be put in the spotlight like some of our ambassadors and educators today, reach out to community@glossgenius.com and we will be in touch. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely evening, and thank you to our panelists again for being so generous with their time and wisdom. We will talk to you soon. See you next month.